Chad, we survived Vegas.
We made it.
We made it. I didn't gamble once. I was very impressed with myself.
Me either.
Yeah, no. And
we're outstanding citizens of Vegas.
Well, that's something to note, because not only are we outstanding citizens of Vegas, we're outstanding citizens of the world in that we left Vegas alive, or just left at all. A couple of things went down there. What happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. It actually ends up on Twitter. Nico obviously had a birthday. Well, there's lots and lots of stories. There's tons of stories. But Nico did have a birthday while he was there. However, he was turning 21. The after party at the 21 Plus City says, "Can I please have some drinks?" And then about 15 hours later, Lowell sends out a tweet saying, "Time to go. We'll be back home in around 15 hours. Thanks, DreamHack. Yada, yada, yada. Everything was a pleasure." Nico says, "Thanks for waking me up, you..." That's a word. You know that
Australian word.
That Australian word. I have to say, and then Lowell laughs out loud about it and says, "I tried." I actually can attest to that. I was in the lobby, seems like this morning. We haven't really slept. We had a little nap over there. I was actually in the lobby with them, and I actually know that they held our shuttle because Lowell was on the phone calling Nico's room about 20 or 30 times. Oh. So, Nico, you kind of did that one to yourself, but hilarious sequence of tweets when you see how that played out for him.
Well, it didn't unfold so well for our colleagues either, did it?
It didn't. They were not the only ones to miss flights. There was some technical delays on a few flights. I think a couple teams may have missed, but so too did Chad, sorry,
I'm here.
You're here, Alex and Henry. Hence why I'm here hosting the desk, because those two, they're still as missing as Alan was in The Hangover, honestly, at this point in time. No idea. We've not seen them. They might be dead. If you have seen them, I'm offering a reward to get Alex back, but I hope I get a double reward if you tell me Henry's dead. So let me know if you've seen them. Let me know where they can be found. But unfortunately, yeah, they did not make their flight. They were supposed to be on your flight.
Yeah, well, there's another thing that they probably haven't done, which is update their fantasy league, because they've probably been dead to the world.
It's a fantastic point. I updated mine.
Yeah, if you want to, you can update it now before the first match starts. Otherwise, you're going to be locked out for the week. So get on that.
Yeah, it does lock out. You can do so at fantasy.eslgaming.com/CSGO. It'll lock you and you just join up. If you haven't already, you should be playing from last week. I think I'm in second to Moses in the standings for us.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, that sounds right. That said, though, it's definitely worth playing every week. Basically, you lock in, the 3 days of Pro League goes by, and you get to unlock. Now, that said, we're going to take a peek into our matches tonight. We've got a lot of them coming up this week. Tonight, it's a couple teams that weren't obviously at Vegas. It was tough traveling back. In fact, to the point, like we said, not only did people miss flights, but there was a couple flights that didn't even take off. So we've got a team we have not yet seen on Pro League. We start with Envy, and then we go to a team that's been surviving in Pro League for seasons and struggling, but HellRaisers.
Look, I'll correct you, Matthew. We did see Envy. They played G2, and that's where they had the crazy upset where Scream just went nuts.
You're right.
He just went insane. Right. But HellRaisers as well, they have actually been struggling because they lost to LDLC in the opener. So not too good for them. And then LDLC get to play tonight against Heroic, who just added, I don't know how we say his name. I'm going to assume it's Yugi.
Yeah,
this is the pickup. It's the Swedish thing. It's like pronouncing Yoi.
Exactly. Yeah, Pure Yoi. Yep. His name's Pure Yoi. This is the pickup that obviously goes in where Freese used to be, and then Cadian stepped in for a while. Actually played, I have to say, I'm kind of hard on Cadian because I know him. Played quite well in the qualifier.
My brain went somewhere else when you said that.
All right. Yep. I'm going to leave that one alone, Chad. Your brain should be fine. Look, but before we get into the specifics and semantics of all this week's games, including tonight's matchups, we have to stand by who goes to the man with, or we go to the man, excuse me, who's got it all to talk about, the rundown, and much, much more. It's over to you, Mitch.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. And of course, as the conversations are taking place on the desk, we invite you to get involved with the conversation yourself with our polls over at facebook.com/ESLCS or at ESLCS on Twitter. And before the break, we did ask you all a question at home. The poll was who would go furthest at DreamHack Las Vegas. You guys basically said Astralis or VP. A lot of people, of course, with faith in the Danes after the victory at the Major, but Virtus Pro, that was a well-placed vote, no doubt about it. And of course, the event was an incredible one at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Virtus Pro coming out on top there, silencing their critics. And of course, the celebrations were forthcoming. This one here, of course, up on the stage after they did claim the total. And of course, Snacks did claim the MVP for the entire event. Of course, that's the HLTV MVP by Zowie. So congratulations to him. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on the desk shortly. But now, here are our top plays from week 1 of the ESL Pro League.
One of the best maps in CS right now.
Well, JDM chiming in for the first one, but oh my god,
Screamer.
Oh my.
And Apex is proving that maybe this is the gun to use, but Scream, that's 2. Can he get more? He gets a tag there. Shock's now low, Apex is low. Oh my god! Scream, what is this?
Simple gets closer as a result. Good opening shot. We're still over toward A. It's right now that the action starts, and Simple's got 3 already in the round. Both of them go down. No flash that time. They already threw it, and he's not going to peek it. Simple's got up to 4. He might get the ace spot.
Simple's off the platform, and he's rising to the ace, finding 2 tremendous headshots there.
Second one was snappy. Waits as well. Neo's going to try and push him. Gunbarrel's going to show us he respawn. He certainly does. And what is that shot to be Ali?
Bit iffy because he's moving right now. Doesn't want to miss this headshot. He's hoping he'll stop and he can actually pick it up. And also, as well, this patience can do huge work. There's one. Oh my god, Nifty. He's even going to go for the 4th right now. He gets it out of ammo, stuck in the corner. Finally goes down to Gusta.
That is a pretty sick highlight. I have to say that last one, very, very effective. We talk about crosshair discipline. It's as cloudy as exactly. This is a representation of my sleep, proportionate to how I feel on display with you guys. Look, speaking of sleep, we did already touch on it. We were at Vegas. We've got a team in this league that struggled last year. Started off, they've been around for, I think, 36 months or more as a roster, and these guys can still win. Virtus Pro.
They're probably the most unique team to Counter-Strike, right? And these guys pulled off another win. It's crazy. It was actually insane, like, just to see how consistent they were and the type of beating they put on old mates Astralis, right? That was huge. It just
up toward Fallen, who now goes back
to the major, you know? They still had a couple of the same issues where they had really good leads and the other team was able to claw back into the game, but they looked solid across. All the players were doing what they needed to do.
And, well, an interesting series in the fact that we thought SK with Phelps wasn't really going to be in it. We actually thought Virtus Pro looking so invigorated. So this would have been the 4th straight. If they didn't win this, it would have been 4th straight final they didn't win. And this guy who pulls this play, not Phelps that we're watching, but this is the clutch from Taz, in a 4-spy situation where they lose this, they lose the game. He was motivated the entire week, and this is ridiculous.
He looked so determined throughout that whole event, right? Every time I walked past him, he was stone-faced. Even when he was playing, you know, he wasn't really like smiling like the Taz you see at other events. He was there to win, and he basically, with that clutch, like you said, pulled it across the line for VP.
It was an A-class clutch, but I think for him it was the E-class clutch because he got to pick up the car. That's a pretty interesting story in itself.
Yeah.
Trying to motivate them a little bit more, but all week saw tweets back and forth. We know after the major there was some talk between Astralis. You know, obviously they were super happy to make it through and win the major, but VP thought, you know, maybe that they didn't play their greatest. Here we go after this one. Obviously, straight elation. Neo brought his girlfriend over. Right now, fiance. I have to say, to be technically correct.
First time she'd ever been to America. I was on the plane with them on the way back.
Interesting place. I don't know if I would want to take my fiance for the first time to Vegas.
There's a lot to see. My girlfriend came over and surprised me.
It's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emily was there. Who else was there? There was a few people that had spouses, I think. Most of the North American players did. Obviously, it was in North America. But, yeah, no, very, very cool. And on top of that, like we say, there was some other tweets that went back and forth between them. Obviously, like we say, Astralis was very happy, but VP, after the major, thought exactly this. Hard loss. Kiebi wrote Astralis underperform. I promise you here, we will crush them next event. And that was the start of it. He was focused from then on, and he certainly delivered.
Definitely crushed them, yeah. I like this as well. You know, they're being humble about it. Even though they beat Astralis, that wasn't the grand final. They were still hungry for the win. It wasn't just their vendetta against them. It was the whole event that mattered. And
do you think Taz was playing this up a bit?
I'm not sure. Taz is one of my favorite people on camera, right? I liked being a personality when I was a player, and to see him being a personality throughout his entire career. He told me when we were on the plane, when he walked off stage after they beat them 16-3 on the first map, he walked off doing the Conor McGregor walk because he knew that they'd see him. They all had to walk off the same way. So he definitely wanted to show that, you know, Counter-Strike is still the game for these guys.
I did have to laugh that he said, oh, we're going to win because we met Conor McGregor. That's a sign of things come. Okay, you were on a plane that had about 6 teams on it. One of them was Fnatic, and they went out in groups, which is another talking point as well. New Fnatic back, first event.
Maybe it's a sign, you know, because they're big UFC fans in that team. They love it. I think Neo
VP.
does.
Oh, I said Pasha versus Conor would be the fight of the century.
Well, Neo does jiu-jitsu, I think.
Don't care. I want to see Pasha fight. Everyone wants to see Pasha fight.
Okay.
Don't fack with Papa.
Sorry.
His words, not mine. can't fault me on that one, I'm afraid. No, but again, very invigorated performance from them. They would have lost since E-League Finals, which they won the first season, obviously, not the one that that Optic picked up. But they obviously went through 4 finals now and finally picked up the 4th one, so it did take a while. That said, shifting to tonight, we got to get there. You mentioned it. We have seen Envy already before. My mistake, I thought we hadn't seen them on the mainstream. Obviously, they played some games this year. New Envy was supposed to be the secondary French team.
Yeah.
There was one man that stood above the rest to prove that they were not ready to take that title rolling over or lying down.
I can't believe how well Scream played, you know, in this matchup that they had. It was insane. He basically carried it. I think he channeled his inner Goku, which he loves the Dragon Ball Z, that guy. And yeah, he was able to carry.
Has the hair for it.
Yeah, he's able to carry Envy. It gets so confusing now, right? Because players have swapped teams. You see the names. It's so confusing with these team names right now. But something that's interesting for me is I think Happy is going to be more of an integral factor in this team now, because he kind of not dropped off, but he had so many stars around him. He was just doing his lurk role. He has to do a lot more in this team now. So that's something that I'm going to enjoy seeing out of Envy, because I think Happy's a super skilled player, and it'd be nice to see him get back to some form. And then with HellRaisers on the other side of things, I think it was Sticko. I think he stopped studying now and he's going full-time Counter-Strike, if I was reading the tweets properly. So that's exciting, because this guy's a talented player.
He's a very talented player. It was one of the players they picked up late when they decided they were going to go bulk EU and had to play the first minor that ever existed. Obviously some footage versus Astralis as well, which they did very well in this particular game. Obviously beating Astralis right now in any situation is no easy task. The interesting thing for Envy, like we say, is talking about the secondary B team, but with HellRaisers going against them, this is another team for me that I have to say survives a lot. They went through so many roster changes. We thought they were going to be done. It's almost like Mouse Sports is right now. We're looking at them going, are they going to survive a roster change right now? Another roster change. That was them at the start of last season's Pro League.
Well, the thing they had, like Oscar taken away from them, who was a superstar, and then they were still able to recover from that with other players. Dead Fox came in. He's filling a role. You know, he's not doing the Oscar superstar stuff, but other players like Zero and Sticko have definitely stepped up. So they're a team, like I said, they do survive, and they do have upset potential. They're a weird one, right? You're not going to expect to see them consistently in the top 10, but they can definitely upset any of those top 10 teams any given Sunday.
And I think that's the surprising part, because they always had that, but we never thought it was going to last that long. We thought they'd eventually die off. I mean, this team's had, what, Bondic go through it. Did it have Simple at one point before the Flipside tenure? I think originally for about
ago, right?
yeah, but that's the point. This is how many roster changes have gone through for them. Probably one of the most, like everyone talks about FaZe. These guys must be up there close to FaZe's total in terms of roster changes, I would think.
Probably not as much money as FaZe though.
With that, you got me on that one. You're right. Rumor has it, per sources, the last one was worth more than all the others. No, that's probably not true. The Nico transaction. That's supposed to be memeing. Chad, don't. Look the other direction. That one was fine.
I missed it.
Head-to-head, though, these guys, hard to really boil this down when we really look on paper that the French side still does have players like Scream, has the illustrious presence of RPK, who isn't quite the same in CSGO, but as anyone who knows Counter-Strike over history knows, was the best, perhaps, overall source player.
I think the most interesting thing individually for both of these teams is since the major, obviously the roster shuffle came in for Envy, HellRaisers have only really been practicing for this league, right? They haven't had a lot on their plate so far, and the same with Envy after the roster change. So this is their main focus. So they want to show here. It's not like they have a LAN event coming up where they can prove themselves. This is their proving ground right now, and if you want to make sure that you stay in this league and get a chance to actually evolve, you have to start performing against other teams of your level. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see their approaches to these maps and how much they've been able to do, because online Counter-Strike's a lot looser, as we know, and they only need probably 1 or 2 different things in their arsenal to be able to compete and be able to throw other teams off guard, because you can rely on clutches or you can rely on more YOLO players, I guess.
Is it fair to say that they need to? I think it is fair to say they have to capitalize on online CS right now.
Definitely.
On paper, if you're a tournament organizer and you're going to give out invites, you're going to look toward G2 right now because it's the quote-unquote super team.
Yep.
Opping for me is something that stands out for this French side, and I'm not sure how they stack up yet and where they want to go. Is Happy going to be picking it up more regularly? In this particular game, you're going on a train. You're going against Dead Fox. These are battles they have to win.
It's going to be Sixer who's AWPing.
It is going to be Sixer now full time. Okay.
Sixer used to AWP in 1.6 for, I think it was Millennium he was playing for.
And he was played with Millennium and CSGO as well.
Yeah, so he was the AWPer back then. He wasn't like a Markaloff 1.6 AWPer who was just like going to take over the whole game, but he's pretty flashy, if I remember rightly, having to roll back the years here. he can AWP, and we saw him AWPing in their previous matches, and he was consistent enough, especially versus like Kenny, that he can do the job. And I think that was the interesting thing, you know, when he was in that team with Kenny, he wasn't AWPing at all. Like Happy was the one who was doing the majority of the secondary AWPing. You saw him pick it up very rarely, and now he gets a chance to do something which obviously he's done for a large portion of his career.
It's true, absolutely, and familiarity in the fact that Sixer is there, but RPK, he'll know as well. Obviously, these French guys have played together for years and years going back. I still think that it is a bit of an... I mean, Dead Fox is a guy for me. Let's just shift it there, staying on the op focus rather than team to team. Came in to replace Oscar, who went out, departed from Mousesport's first tenure at a team that didn't really work out. Obviously, things went kind of sour quite quickly for them in that case. But Dead Fox stepped in and was a player for me that came out of I think, Pixel Fire, was it? At the first minor, and it wasn't impressive, and I wasn't expecting much. You know, he was a decent player, but he was a decent player in Tier 2 realms, and now he's stepping into the mix with Tier 1-ish at times, with HellRaisers obviously being in Pro League Tier 1, and putting up numbers I didn't know he was capable of.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? If you're a consistent AWPer who can just... Something that a lot of people don't realize, an AWPer like KHB or Device are the ones who hold the line, they'll take a shot, they'll fall back, they'll do it for another one. Or if you're a flashy AWPer like Kenny, there's in-between ground, and I think that's where players like Dead Fox kind of find themselves. That's where you're trying to find World Edit. They try to maybe do it all, and it's too much. So him putting up consistent numbers is a good thing as like a middle ground AWPer. You want someone that can entry frag, you want someone that can passively AWP, and it's hard to find people who can do all that and do it well. So, and what is he? He's from Hungary, right? How many players we got from Hungary? Not many.
I don't know. There might be a few from Thirsty. Speaking of that.
Oh.
Just kidding. My puns are terrible. I'm sorry.
That was nice. Dad jokes.
Our dad jokes, I think my dad's the head moderator, so it's fine. Moving swiftly along, shall we?
Let's do that.
In terms of maps, though, for Happy and Co., if he wants to lurk, Train seems to be a fairly decent one that would lend itself to that. Being able to push through. Now, the other French... I think Happy or MBK was the very first one when Train was brought back that said they actually really liked the map when everyone was still cursing it for being the first new style Valve map. There's some tactical plays that definitely can lend themselves to Happy's style of in-game leading.
Yeah, I think so. I was preaching on this last season as well. I want to see Happy go and do like the Yanko Nico Weatherman segment he did, where it was, Nico, you can run out here, we'll throw all the smokes and stuff for you, you kill 3 people, and then we'll go into the other bomb site.
That's all they were doing at Vegas.
I think Happy has the potential to do that in certain scenarios, right? Because once you see him, once he's killed a player, or once it's showed up that it's Happy, you're going to rotate because you expect him to be the lurker. You don't expect him to be with the main front of attack.
There used to be, actually, last season, I think, in Pro League, we had a discussion. Maybe it was actually on Drop the Palm. We had a discussion where we said, I think you suggested it, why don't you just send Happy in first, let him die, and then go in like 10 seconds later, because everyone's going to rotate as soon as he dies and think that that's the lurk.
For sure.
That was your chance to follow up on your tactical mastermind chat.
I'm dropping the ball right now, mate. But on Train, that's definitely possible, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I expected you to take that and run with it, Chad. You let me down. I agree. You definitely can do stuff like that on Train. It does fast rotations. It's one of the faster ones, to be fair. If you're playing in the brown halls, you need to have someone near Pop Dog, I think, every single round.
I think this is probably going to be a map going in the favor of HellRaisers, actually. I think they have a lot more depth on their T side. I think we're going to see.
Done?
Yeah, well, I wanted to get it out of the way early, right?
Okay.
But when you look at a map like Train, it's if you take that inside bomb site, for example, it's very easy to take control if you're willing to push up, right? You use your Molotovs, your utility to smoke off the CT spawn entrances to the site. You use the Molotovs in CT connector. And once you're holding off that point of the map, the CTs are basically stuck in the chokes and they can't do anything. The more time you delay, they're just going to have to save their guns and back off, or have to save their utility to be able to put it out and have something to fight with. So Train's one of those maps that it's very utility dependent, and you need that utility to open up the round and find yourself space. I want to do some pro tips with Rush soon, showing players how to make space on their own. So well, maybe that's coming in
on their own without the use of teams.
No, without teammates, with their own utility.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what I was going to say. Is one thing we know on Train is based on timings. A lot can be done with smokes going over top of A and capitalizing on that, but you need wall of smokes, which takes care of a lot of people. Yeah. So that would be kind of interesting. That said, I think we touched on just about everything we need to. What we haven't touched on is who's going to be casting the first game, because like we said, we're the only two that are here, but thankfully, there's Old Faithful. Lauren and Mitch are standing by to bring you map number 1.
Wow. Old faithful.
Yeah, well, they do just sort of dust me off and drag me out of the closet when they...
Can we just appreciate the smug look on that guy's face? I don't need to see it. I know it's happening, but it feels nice to be a lifeline for those two.
It's nice. So, like, they had to, like... it's like add water. It's like budget cast to add water, and they just roll me out of the basement and then just
Slowly
put a sprinkle on there, and here I am. Yeah, larger than life, unfortunately. So, yeah, this one's going to be interesting, Lauren. HellRaisers in Team EnVyUs. The last ousting we saw from EnVyUs was the one where they, I guess, silenced a lot of their critics and also a lot of the chirping G2 fans at the time.
Yeah, and it was what a display. You know, I think we can easily go to Scream and say he played well, but actually Happy had a very good game too. He was also actually quite impressive throughout that one. But as a team, it clearly felt like this is a revenge match. We have a lot to prove here. But let's not paint this picture, you know, away from what it really is here. HellRaisers, they are a team who can cause upsets. There's no disputing that. But in 2017, they played 10 games and only won 2. They are actually not having a very good year just yet. Haven't seen particularly much from them. It's been a rocky road, and none of these maps, again, prove particularly great for them. But again, if you're having that sort of start to the year, not much is going to sit well for you. So hopefully if HellRaisers, they start building up in this, because we saw a lot of potential in the likes of Deadfox and such and so on, but we need them to deliver now. And
even the Sticko as well, they recently announced that he went full-time into gaming. He was actually at university before that, and they couldn't cater. So he's put his focus on towards CS. We'll see how it works out for him now. It's going to be EnVyUs on the CT side, HellRaisers on the CT.
Yeah, and the hit towards B is certainly coming in pretty darn quick. Scream as well, the man just touched on very quickly, has officially joined EnVyUs. That just got announced before the show went live, so that is now locked in, but Happy does at least find one in RPK, just holding the back of those trains. 3 players now present towards B for the CT side, so they should be in a good stead here unless they just kind of feed needlessly, and Angel can be gifted a massive chance there. Now will allow the bomb to go down, but there is a Tech-9 in Happy's hands, which could cause problems now.
Always the aggressor, Angel. Now, though, getting a little bit caught out. The Tech-9 from Happy going to be ringing true, and now Sticko in a 1v2. The bomb is down, though. That's the upside here for HellRaisers, and Sticko has a nice vantage point here. The smoke will obscure.
He's not letting go of that defuse. That's being held. He's got a kit as well, so the timing, the back of Sticko's mind will be off as well, and there's Happy leaps through. Really nice round from Happy, and they get the defuse, they get everything dealt with. 2 alive. Probably would have wanted more, but it's all you're going to get here. HellRaisers at least get a plant. I guess that's the only way you can look at it at this point. I'm not sure how much they're going to go for in this round. Of course, it is going to be light no matter what, because it probably will be that third. Ooh, no, okay. We've got quite a bit invested here. A couple of them dropping below 1k, so you've got the Deagle with armor, a smoke. They're not going down without a fight, and we've got the full SMG, if you can call it that, buy coming in from EnVyUs. We know they like this. I'm not so sold. We've seen the UMPs being far more favorable, but we do see the MP9s slipping back through. Yeah, I mean, there's been a big discussion about the UMPs in recent times. Let the desk touch on that one later on, but the first few shots have been fired. Sixer, some glancing blows taken as he's forced to back away. They push it in towards Ivy. It's 3 players from HellRaisers that have made their way through via cover of smoke. Now setting up on either side of this A bomb side. It's going to be 3 players for EnVyUs are corralled essentially on towards that bomb. Can't but Scream get the 2. RPK pulling those a massive pickup for them. They can go towards B. There's no one there. They're still taking these fights, and they believe in it. Deadfox catching out XMS is massive. So now you've actually got 2v2, and look at the HP on Happy. It's dwindling. It's down to 12. So now they've actually got a bit of a reign here. They can actually do something with this. We've got a UMP with Happy and just the MP9 with Scream. So positions are key, and Angel and Deadfox have everything to play with in this round.
EnVyUs trying to spread out a little bit more at the moment here. Happy in towards backside here, and Scream pretty much up on the other side. They've got this one pinned quite nicely with some crossfire, and Scream takes his opportunity when it presents itself. Angel will fall. And now Deadfox has yet to plant the bomb. Now EnVyUs able to peek from closer angles. It's going to be much harder for Deadfox to break through. He needs to try and isolate the situation, but Scream yet again stands tall. 4 kills for him. And I mean, the earlier performance from EnVyUs against G2 before the break, all that really told us is what we already knew, Lauren. It was that Scream is a monster, still continuing to perform, but all eyes on the rest of EnVyUs to see if they can even stand in his shadow.
Yeah, and there was already highlighted on the desk about Sixer. When I was speaking to MBK about their roster just before it got announced, he was actually rating Sixer as one of the better orbs out there. He says that maybe he's not the most flashy guy in the world yet in CSGO, but he's a guy you want on your team.
About 1.6.
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah. So it was in the discussion on the point of Tuanu as well, because he's come in. But look at this buy again from HellRaisers. These guys are relentless going in on this. Galil's coming out, something you just don't see that much again anymore. We're seeing a real want to turn the tide here for HellRaisers. I don't know if it's really worth it at this point.
Yeah, from round 1 up until now, it's been aggression from HellRaisers. Last time, though, they pushed 3 players through Ivy. Now with 2, Deadfox and Angel will sit back and play it slower. I
guess they know that the money's going to be weak for EnVyUs. They've got these rounds close. It's just, this is risky, but HellRaisers have been keeping them on their toes on the side of EnVyUs. They haven't been having it easiest of matchups. But now Sixer might have a little bit of a peruse over. No, it's actually XMS to have a little bit of a look, see if there's anyone still down by Ivy. But this slow creep back from HellRaisers, not become... I guess it's not too subtle now, because EnVyUs did look for information and they found it.
Yeah, XMS pushed far enough to see where the HellRaisers were playing aggressively around Ivy. And maybe they would have pulled back, but this is obviously informed now. The B plays, RPK up front and center. And that Molotov surely being loosed if he does hear any sight or sound. Yep, shot comes in. And that was Angel as he crossed here. Molotov being thrown down and happy with the smoke.
Yeah, but they've got to be ready. They do have 2 of the guns, at least on this site right now. Happy being one of them, and of course RPK the other. And he's going to wait. The bomb's going to go down, but it's actually Happy pushing forward, taking the opportunity that was given to him, and it's worked out. RPK and Happy just halting this, but the bomb has gone down, so there's still a chance here for HellRaisers.
Again, Sticker not able to get the angle, though, straight up on the vertical. Close quarters combat, though, with the Desert Eagle for Bonding. It's going to work out, but Sixer eventually ascends to the top of the card and finishes that one off there. EnVyUs give HellRaisers just enough ground on that B side, just enough rope to hang themselves with, and they press forward with a quick counter-attack. It's 3-0. And HellRaisers, despite all their aggression, Lauren, have not been able to slow EnVyUs down so much now, and those guns are starting to filter back. Sixer with an AK recovered, and XMS happy at this stage than MP9.
Yeah, every single round so far, Envy have had 2 players left standing. There's been a lot of bomb plants though for HellRaisers, and they're going right back in on this. Galil's a plenty limited utility, but it's enough to create something with. Still got the armor. It's not the worst in the world. It's just really weird to see Galil's for me. It feels like a long time since they've been a go-to in comparison to the UMP that's become far more favorable and such more of a, I guess, usable piece in this. But Sixer does have the AWP, so this might create a couple of issues if he actually landed a shot there. Angel does manage to stay alive. Peeks from that higher angle, so hoping, if anything, he'd get legged as he would be pre-aiming the body rather than that angle he was going for. So, nothing really gained nor lost so far. No smokes being given out from HellRaisers. If anything, just trying to work down what Envy have. Yeah,
no real big changes in position for EnVyUs on the CT side here either. They're just hovering happy at this stage, just sort of sitting inside Connector in case he needs to be brought over towards A, but it is on HellRaisers right now to make the first move, and they seem to be setting up for it. Again, no flashy set plays in towards A yet, no setup really being telegraphed here. They have a lot to work with. They've got a few smokes. They've got 3 smokes, so it is enough to cobble something together on towards A if they want to go for the set play. But right now, their positioning is giving the game away if they were able to be seen. He smokes over the top. I'm going to be hit on towards A.
Scream timing on that reload, not brilliant, but it is the hit, and he's going to be aware of it once he sees the players. Wants to be cautious, does want to over-commit to the angles he's playing. He's fallen back towards the back of the train. They're on the back of the bomb train, and he does find the shot. Bomb going down is a huge problem now for HellRaisers. They've got to find that one, and in their way is Scream, and he's got friends with him. XMS supports perfectly, and now in this 4v2. HellRaisers struggling to even get stepped towards that site now. Yeah,
and substandard weaponry here for HellRaisers to play a long-range game. The bomb not planted and only 12 seconds left in the round. It's not much time to work with. Deadfox needs to make a move pretty quickly. He finds Happy. It's a 2v3 now. But RPK making himself scarce over on that bomb card. It's impossible for Deadfox to get there. Scream picks him off. And Zero just needs to get the heck out of Dodge here. A cold shower and forget the horror that was that round. Because HellRaisers just straight up ran out of time.
Again, they get a couple of opportunities. They get relatively close, but then just starts to slip away a little bit. And the thing is, they've had some decent results on train back in 2016. I say that very tentatively. It's not brilliant for them, but you know, you're clutching at straws for these guys when you're looking for results.
Sure.
They managed to beat Mouse Sports on here, managed to best Godsent, but 16-14 isn't exactly a one-sided matchup. That was quite a close affair. So again, this time HellRaisers might have to start respecting the fact they need to save a little bit of cash here to come in with maybe a little bit more. They need those AWPs, possibly need to put Deadfox on, I guess, an even ground to play with. And Angel might just be run over here, and he's going to get to the other side, but the foot will show, and that will be enough for Sixer.
Yeah, aggressive peek from Angel there, hoping to maybe get the drop on Sixer, but it's not going to be enough. Again, RPK, always the man with the utility. It's going to be a Molotov down. And Sendry, should I say, and it will slow HellRaisers again. This has been their problem in the last few rounds. They've been slow. After the first pick or the first engagement, they really back off. They spend a lot of time trying to formulate a plan to hit a site. But last round, they ran out of time. Again, they've got a minute left in this one. 4 players to work with, 2 smokes remaining amongst them.
Happy has been over on this site so early. It's not just been RPK here. This has been both of them. So it's going to be tough for them to break in. We'll see if they can actually make it stick this time. They've managed to hit before, and they've managed to get the bomb down, but already RPK finds one. But a quick hit there will actually allow them to get the bomb towards the site. Happy doesn't want this to happen, but can he stop it? Out of bullets, down to the P250, but he can't stop the plant. The round will be theirs. Envy, no problem on that. But for HellRaisers, another plant means at least they get one step closer to a decent buy.
It seems pace is a bit of a concern for HellRaisers in these last few rounds, and you saw that RPK was able to back away towards one of the carriages, obviously on the beach side, and then pick down 2 players as they dropped. It seems as if HellRaisers aren't giving themselves a lot of time to make informed decisions. It seems like quite aggressive play on towards B, throwing themselves into the midst of it after squandering about a minute prior in the round. I guess a bit like Cobblestone sometimes. It's hard to get that information about what the CT setup is going to be like, but again, something you need to keep in check.
All right, and the big difference in my eyes now is that DeadFox gets the orb. Hopefully, he can find a little bit of an opportunity here, so they're not just having to go in on those full-in hits, just hoping they get the better of them. But Scream already going to get going straight ahead, but he's not actually been flashed in here at all. That flash comes up and over, he turns it, and they are completely unaware, and that's one thing you don't want to be around Scream, but a good trade for Bondic. He's going to keep it equal, and in the meantime, they've actually picked up another as well.
Yeah, it was DeadFox there with the initial kill on towards RPK. That leaves the A side a little bit light here. XMS forced to push a little bit forward to try and address this Ivy threat. But HellRaisers not looking to capitalize. They're not pushing A yet, so this will be a bit of a 1v1, and XMS is comfortable at his leisure. Headshot on towards Bondic to close that one out. And now HellRaisers again need to start thinking.
That was so dangerous. He was right in that smoke next to them. He's backed away from it. He's managed to keep his life here. And now the flash is coming over. Now the mollies are there. They are not making much of a secret. They look like they want to intend towards this site. Zero's already out. DeadFox starting to come down the ramp, and Sticko's still up on above. But Six are a little bit slow on the trigger. DeadFox making a big difference this round. Open the B site, and it looks like he wants to close it as well. Happy and XMS, though. Trick up Happy's sleeve is maybe they don't expect him this close this early, and they certainly don't. Zero will fall to that fact, and now it's the 2v2.
Yeah, XMS way too fast for DeadFox. Now the 1v1. Happy versus Sticko. Happy has a kit. He's got everything he needs in this one, but he's not making a move. Just trying to make Sticko second-guess himself. Happy will need to go for a little bit of a tickle here at the very least. Draws some attention, tries to challenge around the corner, but Sticko heard him drop. He heard the footsteps, and he's able to be first to the punch. 5-1. HellRaisers find their first round here. See, that round loss bonus had been ticking in for them, so they've still got a bit to work with now into this next one.
Yeah, Happy and RPK's money was both pretty low, considering the previous rounds. There was a good couple of them that were down to 2 players, 2 players, 2 players. And if you were winning them, no problems there, but you can see there has been an impact of how close these rounds are. Finally, HellRaisers have that full arsenal behind them in comparison to EnVyUs, who are running a little lighter. But look at how they want to overcompensate for this or find a way back into it. Aggression towards B, Scream at the forefront. The MP9, you know what, you can run around with that gun and still get decent accuracy, but it doesn't matter. Zero's quick to the trigger and he's going to find more. That's 2 kills followed by Sticko. This is a very quick lockdown. And, well, EnVyUs, you've got to try something, I guess, but they still had decent weaponry on the likes of Sixer and XMS here.
They're very lucky to get out of that with XMS being alive. In fact, there was 2 angles that HellRaisers had them covered by a very aggressive push. And now HellRaisers say, well...
Oh, this could be fun.
Sixer on the corner here again. Missed the click shot in that last round. He had a couple seconds to respond. And now XMS dropping down behind. This might turn things around. He's seen the bomb go as well. Pop Dog is where it's been dropped. And now the 2v2. Great timing from XMS there to throw a spanner in the works.
And Sixer has got to be predicting someone's pushing him. There were still more players up on the board. They hadn't seen everyone over in those B halls. So really nice mental game from him. And it's put it in the hands of DeadFox. Now, he's got the bomb, a molly, and an AWP. So there's still option aplenty. They knew roughly where XMS was, you know, a good couple of seconds ago now. And Sixer, still a little bit of an idea where he was. But how do you manage to work this one out? You've got 40 seconds. And really, these players could be anywhere by this point. They could be around the back. They could be down by Ivy. And Sixer might have just seen DeadFox cross. I'm not sure on the timing of that, but XMS slowly working his way around towards B. Does entail that maybe they didn't see it, and there's Sixer flying in. Good work from him to shut it down in the end, and these two played that perfectly. Really nice work between each other. Those two needed it. And to be fair to Envy, I like the aggression, but the close of this round was the impressive thing to my eyes. XMS lovely on the timing. Sixer holding the cross out by Pop, just putting himself in a really useful position.
And the fact that EnVyUs can risk putting themselves in such an aggressive situation early and lose so many players in brown holes and have the 2 newer additions to the lineup actually hold them up there, that speaks dividends. Speaks volumes, should I say, of the depth in this team. And now Scream, it's an aggressive Molotov forward. Sixer again, we've seen this a couple times already. He thought he saw something thrown up there, but Angel never had a chance. He's not afraid to be aggressive and make a pick, Angel, but this time it doesn't work out. And again, RPK, almost like clockwork. It's the incendiary thrown in towards brown holes.
Gotta be a bit careful here, Sixer. You're being toyed with. DeadFox knows it. He's loving this game, but Scream might not be the one to kind of have that tussle with. So there it is. Sixer will play the timing really, really well with the smoke as well. Just going to find the pick towards Ivy, and now the last 3 players. Where are you going to go? You've got a bomb and 3 deagles. Now, B seems like that's where they want to hit. That's where they want to fancy going towards. You know that Happy and RPK have been playing this pretty spot on, and God, those flashes, that timing, the read of the game, the feel of it is pretty decent so far. And Eyes trained. Happy is there. Smoke goes down towards lower. Could be a bit of an issue. Does mean they can kind of sneak out, but Happy's expecting this, considering it. But where's RPK? Can he watch this as well? Sticko's made it out. Now, bomb plant is all he can hope for in this. I doubt there'll be much more, and he's not even going to get that. Happy will deny it. And a good game from him so far, too.
Yeah, well-timed shots coming through. That smoke, if I'm not mistaken, either the smoke didn't completely obscure the entrance towards the side, or he just timed it very well, but 2 players being gunned down through that smoke. Making things very comfortable for EnVyUs now. Still with the AWP on Sixer, and HellRaisers have been scrabbling for loose change at this stage again. It's a Tech 9 board in, 2 of them, in fact. And a Desert Eagle for Bondic. That is all. And HellRaisers already finding themselves lagging behind in a big way.
Yeah, this is starting to be a bit of a rough game for HellRaisers. You get those close starts, you get that, you know, back and forth, we almost got there, keep firing up, and then it kind of falls to pieces. And XMS is seemingly rather happy about it, and he's a name we don't often see, or say, I guess, should I highlight. The fact that in this roster, in comparison to the other players, he's certainly not going to be the headliner, but he's holding his own so far, and now Sixer's got to be careful as well. You don't get overwhelmed here. There's still Tech 9s up there. There's still a Sixer hitting the shot, my friend. Scream wants to help him out. Angel finds Sixer. That's getting a little bit costly, but the orb can be picked up. It's fine. They lose 2 in the end. A little bit sloppy there, but you know, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter if you're 8-1 up at this point, and you're Happy just timing it well. Just good prediction play from that man.
Almost uncanny, actually. It was exactly as the HellRaisers players start pushing down.
Mitch.
Yeah, brilliant.
He's on the gear, mate.
Good on him. Is he now? Is he now 8-1? It's EnVyUs now in the lead. Comfortable lead. And yeah, I mean, the response from the rest of EnVyUs A players there towards Ivy last round was very good. As soon as they ascertained that there was the majority of HellRaisers players in Ivy, they responded.
This is different, though. XMS hasn't been going this far up. It's generally been Scream pushing up towards Pop. XMS has been playing by the back, down by 6, and supporting him. So this could change things up a little bit here, a little bit of a different dynamic coming through. Do they want to get aggressive? Do they want to just hinder them early? And now he's been kind of hit back. He's got to be careful. Worried about T-Con as well, then just in case one came through. No one did.
Smoked up.
Exactly. Nice timing on that for him. He gets to kind of reset his position, but the rest of the HellRaisers right now not really going anywhere at the moment. They're just sat quite far back, waiting, I guess, to see if there is any of that CT-sided aggression that Envy have been dabbling with, and almost caught XMS off with it.
And this is one of those rounds where you start to wonder about HellRaisers' time management here. This is fine right now. They're spread. No intention to really carry the bomb anywhere, but they've got a minute left, so they do really need to start getting back and pick that one up. The problem is they haven't eked out a man advantage. They haven't really gained much information about where EnVyUs are set up, except for the fact that XMS was early and pop dog this round. Less than a minute in, need to make a move, and it might be in towards Ivy here. Sixer stands ahead of the smoke, has a moment to see a plume, and he is quickly going to get away from the incendiary at his feet. The shot towards Angel's going to work out well. He gets himself to where he needs to be right now. He sees multiple HellRaisers players pushing A.
Yeah, he's seen the bomb as well, so that's going to be a quick call. You can see Happy instantly getting towards Connector. RPK not too far off either, and Scream waits ever so patiently. Maybe a second too long, as Dead Fox will pluck his head from his shoulders and bring it back to not a too bad situation, but now it's gone terribly. Happy finding the bomb plant, denying that completely, leaves Zero in a 1v4 that's near on impossible. He's found 2. Maybe I spoke too soon. And XMS is low, but there you are. Sixer again, holding those lovely lines throughout this map, denying any sort of step further than to be allowed. But I got a little bit dangerous.
Look, even if you want to throw caution to the wind there, Zero had 10 seconds left in the round when he went down.
Don't be sensible, Mitch. Come on. Just got to believe it'll happen.
Oh, well, mate, I tell you what, we've seen enough in this game in our time to be able to believe in things like that. Point is, yeah, again, HellRaisers didn't have a lot of time to work with. They were waylaid, delayed, pushing in towards Ivy and through T-Con, and it cost them dearly. Obviously, it wasn't the defining factor. And the Angel's taken so much damage. Oh, he's going to burn down. Beautiful stack there of incendiaries by EnVyUs, making life very, very hard for him to even get through, and it's going to be replaced yet again.
Christ. Something to be said about an Angel burning, but Scream very much happy to add insult to your injury at this point, as XMS just dancing through an electric. Can't make much more of it, but he's done enough here. Zero, again, left in these predicaments. He does have the gun. And
he's very sharp.
Yeah, his aim, there's nothing to be disputed on that, but it's the fact they're not getting into these sites anymore. Scream got 4 kills that round. So really, overall, Envy just looks so much more robust here. I haven't seen them looking shaky yet, or out of ideas, or out of ways to this. I like the way they're playing some aggressive plays. I like the way they made up for it when they didn't have good weaponry. I like how they approach this so far. Yeah. Dead Fox, where have you not gotten up yet?
Maybe
he didn't get armor, he went for utility.
Yeah, there we go. So 2 flashes of smoke and a Molotov for Dead Fox here. And EnVyUs not in a position where they're really being pressured. You're exactly right. I mean, all they need to do is expend a little bit of utility, and they force HellRaisers to start racking their brains, find a way in. So far, the flashes, or at least there's been enough used by EnVyUs over towards Ivy to dissuade HellRaisers from even attempting it. Dropped in upper halls. Bondic very wary of potential aggression from EnVyUs here.
But look, they're quite passive in comparison to the previous rounds. XMS all the way back by the last frames by Ivy. Scream playing connector. They're not really allowing much room here to get picked up from. Scream's playing quite a hard angle to pick up, of course. You've got Sixer still on the AWP, being probably the most far forward player out of all of them, looking for these opportunities, looking for those picks, and Happy and RPK chilling out by B. And there's something going off in the back of EnVyUs' minds because Scream has started to come over. Maybe they're being sold a bit of a fake here because look at it. Now he's got to come back over. He's going to be in comp, but he's completely smoked out here. And Sticker, you're not going to get away with this. Surely Scream hears him drop in close by, if not sees him above the smoke jumping through, and it's easy work. Bondic now, the timing is so here, there, and everywhere. It feels mismatched almost.
HellRaisers now just getting their players over towards A. I mean, they should have been there earlier on. If they wanted to make a concerted push, then we would have thought they would have gone at the same time. It's kind of how it works. But Flash, that was from RPK there, but Sixer and Scream forced to avert their gazes. And that was the boost, I think, in towards Connector that was picked up there. Scream just trying to get up above. When you see smokes hit A, a lot of the time, the CT side is going to try and get heads above the smoke with a couple boosts there. Dead Fox was ready for it. The problem is he lacks players, and guess what? 5 seconds left in the round. Bomb dropped deep in EnVyUs territory. Another round going to go over towards the French and Belgian mix here. And another very sad story for HellRaisers, who really just haven't made any progress. After that first round they picked up earlier on, if we recall, that was purely from pure aggression from HellRaisers. Now they're changing up their game style completely.
Yep, and for HellRaisers, what do you do on this sort of money? Galil's again. CZ full utility or some utility for Angel. It's not pretty watching this, if I'm honest. And HellRaisers look just kind of disjointed in the way they're hitting these sides. It feels like they go here, there, and they're not pulling players to feel uncomfortable on the CT side at all. They're getting away with what they want to do. Now, that's forced RPK into a little bit of a situation. They might have to respond to this now, but there's still players looking for that aggressive stance over by Ivy, for example. You can see XMS having a little bit of a bout with Angel over there, but it's just kind of null and void at this point, as Angel really only has a CZ, and he's wide peeking out to this one. Bit of a flash comes through. Six is going to support XMS at this point as well, and Scream's pushed in towards main. These guys are so aggressive. If they don't know what's going on, they will find out. And now Angel's baffled with what's going on. These flashes are going back and forth. This is messy, but it is costing HellRaisers so much time here.
Yeah, again, it's been the problem now. Just over a minute left in the round. Scream pushing so far forward here. Bondic was ready for him this time, though. He's been sort of lurking around this part of the map, actually, in the last few rounds, expecting that aggression from EnVyUs, and only now has it really shown, but it's paid off. That doesn't answer the Ivy question for Angel, though. He knows XMS is still lurking close by.
Yeah, and Happy's on the way to help him out here. Now, the big thing to come from this is, can Sixer stay alive at all? He's got a player in main, he's got two possibly by pop, and he's going to have to be really careful with how he plays his lines, because there are threats left, right, and center, but they've fallen back from Ivy, so Angel's out of there. Dead Fox comes back around, smoke goes over, and it looks like this is go time now, finally, for HellRaisers.
So again, a little bit of a repeat of that earlier round where we saw them just move not quite in coherence, but the smokes are down. Sixer, though, has the shot. He has the angle there. Looks away at just the wrong time, and Dead Fox comes chiming straight on him with the AWP shot. Now RPK, nowhere to run up on that side. Happy now to try and spring forward and gets himself a quick double here. It's a 2v3. The bomb is down, and Happy's very low on health. He saw that, surely.
I think spec smoke can be a little bit different to what they see sometimes, but still, maybe not focused in on it either. But in the end, it works. Finding that kind of all-together hit, they get the good trades off the back, they punish that aggression. I think if Scream managed to get maybe a 1-for-1, that could have been different. Not to be the case at all. So, 11-2, though, is still the scoreline. As much as it's great seeing HellRaisers finally getting back on the board, it feels like this almost is a little bit late in the day here. But then again, CTT side, still debatable where the kind of favor sits. But so far, Envy looks strong in how they're approaching it. If HellRaisers, though, start picking up a little bit more here, close out the game with the last couple of rounds in their pocket, maybe there's room for a competitive matchup. 2
players to Ivy this time. That's the flash, that's the jump across. And Sixer not able to get anything for. And just off to smoke it and back away there. Knowing that Scream and XMS are otherwise engaged with their oversight over on A. Slower start here again for HellRaisers. An aggressive push for XMS. Bondic is again watching this close angle. He is expecting aggression to come through, and XMS should know from the last round. It should have been communicated there from Scream that there is a player that likes to watch this one. Scream standing watch just in case XMS gets pressured or overwhelmed. Again, slow play. Roddick's going to check Pop Dog there. No one there this time. Been a few rounds since XMS got caught with his pants down. Now 4 players up in brown holes here, and Angel being sort of just the loose end now. Should be HellRaisers to make a push. They've actually got a couple of smokes between them. Flashes are there. They're going to come in.
Here we go. This time, Happy not going to get the timing on that shooting through the smoke, but RPK still alive on the site, but didn't expect the players to walk through the mollies, but the mollies weren't perfect either. But Happy, being where this pretty much stops, it feels like, he is not letting these players through or getting any freebies, and a quick flank as well. We saw that earlier aggression, and now that can come into effect. Zero could be in trouble here, and he certainly is. There it is, a couple of shots to remind him that, hey, I'm still here. Angel gets one from his own teammate, I think, and now the 2 players remaining, Angel and Zero, have to somehow hold on to this. So much pressure towards Angel, but he goes down to Scream, and in the meantime, it was Happy to find Zero, and Happy is being a beast on this B site. Normally, I guess you can look at RPK to be doing most of the work on it, but that's not been the case at all this time. Happy, 4 kills this round. The 2 earlier on were really, really integral, gave him the chance on that retake, and throughout this matchup, he's been such an integral piece on that B side.
Even in this season of the Pro League, actually, Happy seemed very comfortable, I guess, on CT sides in general. If we look back to the cash game against G2, and Happy was there was a lot of difficulty with G2 actually getting Happy off that A site, and it's the same as the case here. Little bit of a miscommunication with the crossfire that was set up on B. I think that's what caused RPK to go down in the first place. Could have been a smoke as well, or the molly has walked over, as you pointed out. HellRaisers, do they mix it up here? Do they go for something faster? I mean, this is last round of the half. They may as well throw caution to the wind and try and get 3 rounds at least on the board. Or not?
I don't know. It doesn't feel as though they have an answer. This looks like a B hit. Probably going to get slowly worked in here. They do have a couple of flashes, 1 smoke, but this timing, the feel of the game coming out from Envy, the timing on the smokes, the counter flashes, even just everything they're putting at them, it's really hard for HellRaisers to break through now. Angel's probably going to set something off towards A, just to maybe turn some attention towards it. Doesn't matter if it's happened or not. Here we go. The hit's coming towards B. 4 players coming through. The quick rotate from Envy might not be quick enough. Happy's finally gone down, and it's RPK to wait. And a great position too. Dead Fox Bondic down to his hand, and the last 2 players now from HellRaisers desperately have to fight against it.
And even with Happy going down early on there, it's not enough for HellRaisers to get a foothold on the site. They just didn't know where RPK was going to be. Angel with no choice but to try and stand and deliver, but the half has been a disappointing one here for HellRaisers, Lauren. 13-2. We know what EnVyUs are like on train. We know it's a map for them, but still, we're hoping for more from HellRaisers after the changes they made. But let's go to a break, half-time, and we'll be back with the second half of this one. We'll see if HellRaisers can get a few more rounds under their sleeve. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, here to train our first map of the night. It seems like HellRaisers are going to have to work on their spirits before they think about living up to their name in this one. It has been a rough first half for them, Lauren. Only 2 rounds to their name.
Yeah, rough's the word for it. It's not been a nice time. So, let's see what EnVy can do. For them, I think they want a quick close to this. Don't let it get close. You want a nice, clean game. Stay confident on. Boost up that confidence just as individuals, but Zero might have other ideas. Nice connection on the burst there towards XMS, but the follow-up not going to come as quickly nor as easily. So HellRaisers retain 5. They keep the numbers, and Angel with a nice position. Also will find 1 as RPK try to push up to get some ground game, but Happy on the active lurk this time. Gets met with a bullet to the side of the brain, and it's not going to go too well.
Oh, Scream, though, backing up there.
God.
Glock going to be delivering, but now in a 1v4. We've seen it. We'd seen it, but again, shouldn't be taking it for granted now. It's going to be Bondic to finish him off, and the defuse coming in here for HellRaisers, playing very passively back on these sites, and good little positioning, I guess you could say, for Sticko there to catch Happy as he tried to make his way in through from A.
I want to see how EnVy approach it now, considering we saw that buy that came out from HellRaisers. Of course, they got a couple more kills in between, but I'm hoping they respect getting that bomb down and just playing to that. Happy's going to get himself a P250, but beyond this, I can imagine there may be a couple of others invested, a couple of Deagles maybe buy down to about 2k, but that's about it. So a little bit of a different picture here. Not having those close rounds means that they're not even tempted by the idea of buying up towards it. So maybe EnVy, for them, they got a plant at least, so they get ideally that buy in the third now. And probably going to go exactly the same thing again. Now, only 1 man on B. Only Zero here early, so this could be a bit of a problem. If Zero can't stop this, he could get overwhelmed just purely by the fact that there's only bodies about to fall to him. 5 bullets remain for him, and he's got to be careful, use them wisely, and he runs out. But he's still standing, and he's still fighting, and EnVy are not getting that bomb down, at least not yet.
Scream, they're getting absolutely nothing done over from the top side. Bondic with 2. I mean, there was 1 man on the site, but Angel was fairly quick in getting there. And if you noticed that, it wasn't Angel getting kills. However, EnVyUs were trying to actually shoot at Angel just as he entered the site, instead of the player down below, of course, who was Zero, manages to hold on for quite some time there, having an excellent game, and often is one of the front runners here for HellRaisers, even in games where they are struggling in. Again, it's not aim, it's not skill, that's the issue here. It's sepia screens and no HUD.
That's interesting, because I can see the round. It's the cinematic view, ladies and gents. That's what we're here for. We are obviously just going to find the right screen, so no worries, guys. Do not fear, all is well. But what you missed was a quick little bit of a run boost over by Ivy, so Scream is now on the right side, so it just keeps Dead Fox on his toes. He does not have an AWP yet, so we'll just see how it works out. Angel, have a little bit of a peek around to see if anyone's coming through. EnVyUs pretty much just taking the time to get to where they want to be. See if there's anything they can find early on to work with. If that's the case, good stuff. If not, okay, time to fall back to that hit that we're going to design, that we've come up with. And at the moment, RPK to try and tease, see if anyone's there, just to draw out the fire. No one is. There is 4 men towards A, so this could be quite difficult for EnVyUs.
No smoke to the left for HellRaisers, so there won't be any further stalling for them, especially over towards areas like Ivy and the exit from Popdog. That will dissipate momentarily. 52 seconds in the round now, and all the fight's already starting here. Push comes out from Ivy, and XMS able to get himself too. RPK going to fall short, though. Happy still in a position to dominate here. He finds Bonnick was switching on through. Bonnick only on 1 point of health. And this smoke's going to be frustrating for Zero. He can't get any information about where Happy went after he got that kill on the A site.
Look at Happy.
Playing mind games.
I like this. You know that Zero plays B. So let's see how Happy approaches this mentally. How does he want to try and work this one out? He's going to try and actually... I'd love if he goes connector. That would be a bit of a BDP, but it's not going to be the case. He's going to take his time, go all the way around.
What does Zero do? What does he think now, knowing that 10 seconds are left? Oh, he's heard him.
There you go. Happy's planted safe, so Zero can't see him instantly. So Happy can readjust now, have a little bit of a look around. And now he's got to work out, all right, Zero, where are you? Now they know. The information gathered on both sides. It's down to just who is quicker on that trigger, and it's Happy. A little better, a little bit more well-rounded, and defined that situation from start to finish to be his favor.
Just a really strong performance from Happy in general in this particular match. It was EnVyUs were down to 2 players, I think, by the time the Happy started chiming in. They sacrificed a lot trying to push through Ivy, Lauren, but they managed to get that round, and that's important. Already on 14 rounds, it's going to be a pause to come in here. A technical one at that.
That old chestnut.
Yeah. Too many CPU screens and lack of HUD, as nice as it is. Again, I don't know, we've had some lag on our ops side. I'm not sure if it's there for them. I don't think so. Otherwise, I would have paused it far earlier. 2 rounds away, though, EnVyUs very close now. Winning that round is definitely going to give them the impetus to try and push it home. And HellRaisers know they've got a force.
All right. Oh, back on the way. So it might have been, actually, a technical pause. Who'd have thought it? But the problem being, overall, no matter what the issue was, no matter what the discussion might have happened with HellRaisers, they have so many rounds to just even get even. At this point, 4-14, Envy just broke back in off the back of one individual. We've got the Galils coming out, so RPK and Sixer sitting on that. And on the other side, a real bit of a mixed bag, I guess, as Bondic has at least the rifle, as does Sticko, but we've got a Scout for Dead Fox, a Deagle, should I say, and the CZ with 0. So a tough one for them to work with, but again, this is like how Envy want to start these rounds. 3 plays towards Ivy is what they had last time as well. Now, Angel's got a bit of a glimpse, and that's enough for him to say, nah, I'm all right without that. Thank you, I'm going to back away.
Yeah, I mean, look, 45 seconds into the round, he's now just having his utility drawn out. It's probably okay if you're HellRaisers, if you do like to play that slow round to put some pressure on EnVyUs. And yeah, EnVyUs can't afford to hang around in Ivy. They've pulled 2 of those players back. Happy will be the one to go forward here. Hoping to get under the skin of HellRaisers at this stage. Sticko is looking towards his exit here. You can see him just through on the X-ray. But no one is watching the backside. Actually, Angel is watching Happy. So Happy's pretty much covered on both counts here. 0 and Dead Fox. Angel will have to respond to this really quickly. 0 hoping for an early peek. It's the head of RPK to go down. He'll get himself a gun at that. Isn't even punished for it. EnVyUs are too busy trying to get towards his side. Now they've got a plant. 32 seconds left in the round as 0 gets his second.
That is so nice from 0. And now the reinforcements finally arrive. It's Bond again. There's Sticko getting there. And now it's Happy in the 1v2. And if you know you're against Happy, you know he's not going to be with the rest. And Bondic knows exactly that. 18 seconds. Eyes trained on this. Nope. I think Happy's like, yeah, I'm not feeling that, boys. I'm off ski.
That positioning from 0, real interesting with that CZ, given especially that HellRaisers, mind you, bought into this round with considerably less value. I mean, they had the CZ, they had a Scout to work with there, a couple of rifles, but definitely wasn't the optimal buy. 0 is dragging HellRaisers, kicking and screaming through this game. He's keeping them alive, no doubt about it.
He played that so well. He just clotheslined the first player of the CZ, got the gun, bought time, kept them just really guessing where if he was going to peek, if he wasn't, swung back around. Really, really well played. And the fact that he felt or knew that he could go and actually recover that gun, you know, without sort of being caught or being watched, knowing that EnVyUs were already in full stride towards B, there's a lot of really good intuition there. Really lovely work. So, Envy, you've got a rifle in the hands of Happy. He had that obviously in the last round, dragged it on over. He's actively trying to bait them in, maybe make them turn, allow the likes of XMS and Scream to try and pick up a gun for themselves, something better than what they have, which is upgraded pistols. They do have armor, so they do have real intent to this round, not going by the wayside. They don't want to waste this one. Happy they're just pre-firing that spot.
Dead Fox knows he can shoulder pick this one relatively comfortably, knows he's not probably dealing with an AWP from EnVyUs. They sort of had that sort of empowered force buy in that previous round. He got his information. Now the utility comes out, but XMS steps forward. But his Digger wasn't ready for it at all. Molotov goes down. Dead Fox now smoking his way. He's just going to back away. And now XMS, he's behind enemy lines, trying to run a riot, but is finally brought to a stop by Dead Fox. And now Angel can respond from Connector.
Now look at this. Happy and Screamer in such unique positions. They can still make this so uncomfortable. Down by the old bomb train is 0, though. That's the big threat that's still up on the board. And he gets destroyed by Scream as well. The Deagle comes through. I thought it was going to be Happy with the rifle actually doing the work there. But it wasn't even needed. And now Angel has to stop this before it really starts. He's just gets wrecked. Oh, that is depressing if you are HellRaisers. That is not the round you want to be seeing going to 15 towards Envy. Only
1 kill for XMS there, but you can see that I think it was Bondic who ran into, was not ready for that. And then XMS getting, you know, past that line of defense in terms of the utility being used, completely threw HellRaisers into disarray. While XMS only got himself 1 kill, there was Scream able to come forward, get 2 kills there with a Deagle, if I'm not even mistaken. HellRaisers were in tatters there purely because they hadn't counted on XMS being so close up in their face.
Yeah, XMS is playing a nice game. I'm pretty impressed with this guy. I want to see how well he does throughout the rest of this season, if he can keep a nice consistency, keep, you know, being really relevant to it all. But a B hit. Just want to get this one done. It looks like use those SMGs. They've got the MAC-10s there beside them. So 0's like, how do I make myself useful here? I only have a CZ and my positioning. Sticker's found RPK. That's good. But Scream's on the hunt. But actually, he finds the bad end of the gun there. Look at this. Bondic and Dead Fox still doing work. It's just down to Happy. 1v3. They don't have a kit, though. This could be a problem. And he does have a molly, but there's still smokes up for HellRaisers.
Smoke on the bomb, going to make it impossible for Happy to actually get Molotov. Value is not there, the spray down comes through. Bomb still ticks away, he knows he has to go for it again. There's smoke placed up on the site. Happy not noticing Bondic initially. I think now it's panic, now it's spray, and it's not going to be enough.
What? How are you not seeing that?
Not quite sure. I think it was too concerned about the bomb there as well. Should be the defuse coming in at the last moment there for deadFox, and it is, but it'd be interesting to see the replay of that one. I know Happy was concerned about the proximity of a potential defuser to the bomb, but still not maybe giving the respect required to Bondik, I believe it was, up on top of the opposing carriage.
Yeah, I guess you've got to pick your poisons at that point, don't you? But still, what is this fine? Okay.
I think if you stand back up on that upper ledge, though, you can get the 1v1. I think you can obscure the lower angle, but he was concerned about keeping eyes on the site, perhaps. Interesting. I mean, they're tough decisions. Sometimes it's a lose-lose.
15-6 now. A little bit of room for play for HellRaisers, I guess, but...
Money-wise, at least.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's really beside them in this, and the bait over again. deadFox isn't falling for it, which is good. He's been able to contest over by Ivy. It's not been particularly great in the long run. There you go. Nice work picking up Scream.
Look, like I said, he knows up against the economy that EnVyUs have, that he can go for peaks like that. He can actually physically get information and not worry about getting one hit.
Yeah, and it's just Sixer and Happy left. Sixer found a really nice bit of run, but again, you shouldn't be able to get away with too much against rifles when they know this position, when they're aware of Happy. How are you alive? Ow! He's just doing the chain of smoke. Just run straight forward through it. Just smoke all the way. It doesn't go too well for them that time, only managing to pick up Angel, and that was RPK. But they are getting towards a decent bank behind them, so they can get a buy going. XMS still a little bit light for cash, though.
And you can see the HellRaisers being forced to second-guess themselves. Are they in that smoke? Have they pushed forward past, I mean, the Molotov I just threw? Did I miss something? Did I miscalculate? 7 rounds for HellRaisers. They're bringing it back. But EnVyUs had a few rounds, of course, where they managed to wreak havoc with very, very little economically. HellRaisers are in the game because they did just that prior over on that B side with nothing but CZs and Tech-9s. But now, Angel full flash. He might not be able to stop this one. And XMS face-to-face with the Angel. I'm going to send him downward now. It's going to be Bondik to try and stand up. A lot of flashes here as well. HellRaisers really struggling to hold themselves through, but deadFox is a spray down. It's desperate. He's hanging on. And for now, it's enough. But Sixer is close to the deadFox, realizes, puts a lot of damage down, but just goes awry with the spray. Now Happy in a 1v3. They don't know he's there. This could be massive. Didn't quite see deadFox. I'm not sure. He didn't go for the peak anyway. Now Zero will be there, of course. Solid aim. Doesn't miss a lot. And Happy will eventually fall. 15-8. And now EnVyUs. Okay. Back down to lower levels of economy.
Yeah. And it was Angel was pushing pop, right? I'm pretty sure it was Angel. And I'm pretty sure it was Bondik's flash that got him completely blinded then. Not ideal. But Envy, okay, you got to keep respecting this. If they keep it up, they keep doing the job. Envy probably just go for that B hit again, I can imagine. One flash, bit of armor for IPK. Might just send him in first, pretty much. Just soak up those bullets. Try and maybe do a little bit of something. But at this point, let's see what they can do. So going to avoid where the molly is for now. Zero's going to back away from that. Needs to be careful. He's not going to hear as many of these steps as maybe he'd hoped for. And it doesn't mean they can get out on the site. And yes, Six has managed to make it across. Now, there are nades and there are mollies. They won't win this round, I can imagine, but they have got the bomb plant, and that's all you can hope for.
Yeah, the barrage coming through here, and the Fusillade catching Sixer, taking him low. That's an 8 from Zero to pick him up. Angel on towards RPK, though a response was there. Oh, hello, Happy. Again, said that a few times and had to cut myself off mid-sentence. Still 2 kills coming in there for EnVyUs. Bomb planted. Going to pave the way then for them just to get that last round here in this first map.
How many times are we going to say, and Happy left in
It's a one on X situation, yeah. He gets that first shot. He always gets 1 kill out of it. And you think, this could be a thing. You think back to Inferno with the Deagle. It's been quite a while since then.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Inferno's now in the map pool as well.
Oh, it is.
So it's now playable. It's going to be seen throughout this one. Looking forward to that coming back through.
A lot of discussion about how Banana's working in Inferno now. If you did watch DreamHack Masters and the teams discussing, I think it was MSL, as always, was quite vocal about that part of the map, but you can check that one out yourself on HLTV. Anyway.
Double AWP.
Yeah, and 1 for Sixer here as well.
And none of them are B, so we've got the double AWP on A. Bondik gets absolutely destroyed. Scream just goes out. Now, Angel's found him pretty quickly off the back of that, but instantly there's a push from Envy towards B as well. I don't know if Scream was just a tasty bit of bait, but Angel is left scratching his head, wondering what was going on, and Sixer takes his head clean off.
Zero's the danger man here. No doubt about it. Smoke thrown by Sticko just to get himself in towards the side. EnVyUs got 2 directly on the side and 2 playing back. Sixer there caught in between. It was deadFox to take him down. Now Zero, can he find RPK? Spray connects. 2v2.
And there's mollies left and there's no smokes left towards HellRaisers. This could be a small problem. They might not expect XMS. Look at this positioning. That is great work from him. Doesn't get the follow-up, and now the molly goes in, but will spread just far enough, and Sticko has to find Happy, has to remove him away. He cannot deal with it. And there you go, the defuse. It's surely going to come through. He's got a kid as well.
Very close. It was. Oh, dear. Yeah, I mean, maybe the Molotov even thrown a little bit preemptively over towards the site. I think as the last EnVyUs player there sort of ran back up on towards Spools, but could have held a little bit longer and maybe changed the situation, but he was hurt. I'm pretty sure Sticko did hear his footsteps as he came down ramp, was able to chase that one down. But that's one of those clench scenarios, Lauren. That's the map hanging in the balance there, and Sticko able to deliver, keep HellRaisers alive. 10 to 15, it's only 5 rounds in it. An economy burgeoning here.
Yeah, this is getting interesting. It could all fall apart in a second, of course. It takes one round from Scream to go crazy, or Happy to finally get that really good lurk that gives him more than just that 1 kill and a bit.
Jeez,
yeah,
he got some distance.
It just Scream's a very light man. He just, you know, just send him flying. So, point is now, I want to see how these double ops come through, because Dead Fox, you know, we know he's good at that. We know he can play this AWP pretty well. I want to see how Angel does. He got really outdone there by Sixer in just the last round. So, I want to see what he can achieve. He's actually supporting over by B early on this time, so that's a bit of a difference. Last time there was 4 players towards A, both of the double AWPs there as well. But EnVy going to be putting their players down by Ivy for now. This is something we've seen most rounds. You've got to be a little bit careful of this one. Scream's willing to risk his head going rolling at this point, but Sticko is on the other side, so does give Scream the angle to work with just for a little while. Gives him some bit of play here, and he's going to go and find this one. He's going to try to at least, but on the edge of that smoke, Sticko was desperate for that peek. He doesn't get it though.
He's forced to just back away now, gives some ground. Flash comes in, Molly. Scream takes a smattering of damage there from the spray through the smoke, but Dead Fox was ready for XMS. Unfortunately, not ready for the second. Scream stepping up to the plate straight after. It's a 3v3. As Sticko playing well back on the site there, does get the frag, but the bomb is planted, and HellRaisers have to filter in through these 2 tunnels to access the site.
There is no utility this time for EnVyUs. This could be a bit of a problem. Let's see if they can manage to keep this one up, though. Scream normally had been, you know, taken down by this point, so having him up a nice benefit, but Sixer just walks in towards Sticko. Scream responds beautifully. Zero and Angel get destroyed, and Scream is the one to nail it. 4 kills, and that is map 1 done.
No better way to finish things off here, Lauren, than a 4-piece from Scream. However, this time, a couple other players on EnVyUs definitely stepping up in a big way. Happy, very important on that CT side. But there's another map to see, of course, between HellRaisers and EnVyUs. But before we do that, I'm going to pass over to the desk with some thoughts on how that map went, gents.
Super Saiyan Scream is how it went, finally shutting it down. It looked for a while they were running into trouble. In doing so, a massive lead to start off. And by the way, Scream is officially announced now. He is an official member of EnVy.
I think they're all in the UK for some reason, signing contracts or something.
That would explain why they almost didn't win the game.
Wow. Okay. They had a very convincing first half, Matthew. Wasn't it 13-2, if I remember rightly? I was very interested in the pacing that they were using on their CT side EnVy. They were very aggressive early on, and then as Mitch touched on, they actually went back to a very passive hold, something that you see a lot with Scream getting boosted in connector. He plays that spot very well. They just were able to use their pacing and aggressiveness at different times to their
That was
benefit.
something I think it was Exist touched on for NIP back when the old Inferno, by the way, if you haven't seen behind me, we've got a nice new Inferno banner to highlight the fact that it is in the map pool officially this week. Some look back at the XMS plays, but one of the things Exist touched on is if you set a very high-paced tempo early, you bait out more utility from the CT side, and therefore they get so used to using it early. Once you slow down, you actually open the map up to yourself again.
And I harp on about pacing and dictating the pace a lot when I do my analysis stuff, and I think it's very important because as long as you're controlling the tempo, you're not being dictated to, and you're making them uncomfortable. You know what you're doing, you're making the decisions, and then they're the ones who have to kind of adjust. And then when you're ahead of the curve, it's so easy because they're playing catch-up the whole time, right? So if you want to throw in a more aggressive thing later down the road, or if you want to go super-duper passive and not use any utility at all, they don't know what's coming, and you're in full control, and that's great to do on both sides. It's very hard to assert dominance like that, though.
Angel becomes the veteran in this team, per se. Very, very, very lackluster performance from him. It was more along the lines of Dead Fox and Zero, the newer blood to the team that were doing most of the work.
Yeah, well, train T-half, it's very difficult, you know, and it's hard to get stuck into, especially if you execute and start working, and like we said, that pacing makes it hard to decide what strategies you're going to use. I was impressed with XMS. I was a little bit hard on him when they played last time, but he was more solid this time round. I did watch them play at DreamHack Leipzig when he was still part of LDLC.
Yep.
Nobody in that team was a standout star when I watched them play, so it was hard for me to go, oh, this guy's good or this. But he's doing his role. I think it's interesting that Scream was able to have another sick performance, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that he's able to continue to do that. I know this isn't the same tier opponent as a G2, but the fact that he did that, and Happy chimed in as well, which I said needed to be important, and he was doing more versatile roles, and he was actually with the team a lot more, I thought. That's good to see. I could be starting to believe, Matthew.
Believe that they're going to show up?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't believing in the Envy, like the Envy train.
No, I
right?
agree. Well, the problem was people put so much emphasis on the super team that no one really paid attention to what was remaining out of it. It's still pretty good on paper. Happy, Scream, RPK, Sixer. I mean, XMS is the one guy that's new to all of it, but they're all showing up. And I think Scream's invigorated in many ways. But that said, we, of course, have to take a short break. When we come back, we go back into another map. It's best of ones, but they played two. It's a doubleheader, as always. We'll be right back to see if HellRaisers have anything on the second map of our two.